Let's talk about the 5 biggest flips in the 2025 recruiting cycle. There was a lot of them. If you're into flips, then this was the cycle for you. But there's 5 that really stood out to me. I'm going to start with 5, go up to number 1. So before we get going, you guys hit that subscribe button. If you watched one of my videos during the 2025 cycle, then what are you doing? Jump on board, hit subscribe. We're here. We're hanging out. All right, let's get into it. The 5th biggest flip of the cycle, number 1 edge, Isaiah Gibson. I don't know what was more shocking. His commitment to USC back in March. Remember that? When Justice Terry flipped from Georgia to USC. That was a shocker. Isaiah Gibson committed that weekend. They got a couple commitments that weekend. Now, Isaiah Gibson from the state of Georgia, I mean, this one was a ticking time bomb. It seemed like only a matter of time before the flip happened. And of course, in the end, he's a Georgia Bulldog, but he was the number 1 edge in America, really had a big impact on the rankings, and now Isaiah Gibson staying home will be attending Georgia. Let's head to number 4. Naeem Offord, the number 1 player in the state of Alabama, made an early commitment to Ohio State. The 5-star plus corner stuck to that for a long time until he didn't, and it was on signing day when the flip happened. No, he didn't flip to Auburn. No, he didn't flip to Alabama either. The number 1 player in the state of Alabama is headed to Eugene. He is a Duck. Naeem Offord commits to the Ducks on signing day, a big part of the reason why Oregon currently has the number 2 class in America. All right, the 3rd biggest flip of the cycle, quarterback Keelan Russell, now a 5-star plus prospect. Committed to SMU early. I mean, come on, bless their little hearts. They were recruiting the heck out of Keelan Russell before anybody else, but then the big dogs came knocking, and eventually, before the season began, Keelan Russell flipped that commitment from SMU to Alabama, and the rest is history. Keelan Russell went on to have an epic senior year, very deserving of a 5-star plus ranking. Do you guys know what the plus means, by the way? It's when all 4 recruiting services have a recruit listed as a 5-star. So let's move on to the 2nd biggest flip of the cycle. That was wide receiver Dakorien Moore, the number 1 wide receiver in America. And this one was crazy because just before the flip, I mean, he was reassuring LSU fans why he was there, the reasons why he committed. It sounded great. But then on July 4th, with fireworks and everything, Dakorien Moore flips his commitment to Oregon. Yes, from the state of Texas, wide receiver, number 1 wide receiver, Dakorien Moore, flips to Oregon on July 4th, making for his 2nd commitment. Now, when he did this, I thought, hey, Dakorien Moore has about 7-8 months until signing day. I'm sure we're going to hear more. This was crazy because once Dakorien Moore flipped to Oregon, we really didn't hear anything about his recruitment. Yeah, he showed up to LSU for a late season visit, but admitted, I'm just here for a great game. And in the end, he was. He inks with Oregon. No drama after that flip. Number 1 wide receiver flip from LSU to Oregon. That was my number 2 flip. And number 1, you guys know it, Bryce Underwood, the 5-star plus quarterback from Belleville, Michigan, all LSU. I think Shea Dixon from our LSU site has the amount of days. It was ridiculous. It was nearly a year. It was over 300 days. And Bryce Underwood just, in the end, it was Michigan. Michigan turns it up. They have the resources now. They have the funding. They have the NIL. They made the situation right for Bryce Underwood. He rips the heart out of LSU fans in the end after 300 plus days of being committed. Bryce Underwood will be playing his college football in Ann Arbor. Not a lot of people saw this one coming, except for Michigan fans. You ask them, they knew it this whole entire time. Of course he did. But in the end, Bryce Underwood flips his commitment from LSU to Michigan. I think by far the biggest flip we saw in the cycle. You guys, what do you guys think? Talk to me. Get in the comment section below. Talk to me. I didn't name all the flips. There was many, many more. That was just the top 5, in my opinion. You guys let me know, what was the biggest flip of the cycle?